Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, yesterday we took a look at one half of the co-main event for UFC 291. Today we're going to be taking a look at one half of the main event for UFC 291. Full disclosure, I will be picking Dustin Poirier to beat Justin Gaethje eventually when I do my picks video. So I'm just sticking with the theme and doing fight film breakdown on the fighters that I think are actually going to lose this weekend, just to show things that they do well and ways that they could potentially win and prove me wrong this coming Saturday. Now, in Justin Gaethje's fight with Rafael Fiziev, he showed a lot of defensive improvements, pardon me. He was very good with his head movement. He was very good with rolling with shots. His range management was better. He was a lot less reckless with the leg kicks. There were a ton of good things that came out of that defensively, and I think that was ultimately the deciding factor, because I think that had he not been so defensively sound, a lot of the shots that Fiziev was throwing would have gotten through, and he could have potentially lost that fight. It was a very competitive fight, and yeah, keep in mind Fiziev is a little bit smaller than a lot of lightweights, and there are some things that he doesn't do that I think Dustin Poirier will do, and that's ultimately why I'm going to be picking Dustin Poirier. I'm going to tell you why at the end of this video, some of those things, but we're going to take a look at that fight with Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev and point out the defensive improvements that he made. We're going to be starting with round number 1. Obviously, I'm going to make myself smaller so we can take a look. Okay, here we are, 3 minutes and 24 seconds of round number 1. Fiziev's about to throw a nice body kick, and we are going to see how Justin Gaethje deals with it. That was one of the things that, honestly, I picked against Justin Gaethje in this fight. I thought that he was going to struggle a ton with body shots, body kicks. He didn't, right? He was able to be very defensively responsible. So let's take a look here. 3:24 on the clock. The kind of something that Gaethje does a lot of in this fight, which he doesn't really do in a lot of other fights, is he feints a ton of level changes. Fiziev's about to throw this kick. Gaethje not only blocks it with his lead arm, but he picks up his lead leg. He is crowding that kick entirely, okay? And it's taking... You do not want to block a kick with one arm, right? We've seen multiple guys break their arms from blocking kicks. We saw Dan Hooker do it. We saw Yanal Ashmouz do it. We saw Jared Cannonier against Robert Whittaker do it. It's just not ideal to be blocking a giant shin with your forearm that has a couple, like, much tinier bones, okay, than a shin bone. So he crowds that kick entirely, and it literally doesn't land. It does not make it to his body. I think I might have just gone cross-eyed for a second, but that's okay. I was just checking out my light, dude. Don't worry, I'm not dying, okay? Beautiful defensive work from Justin Gaethje here. And then not just that, but the follow-up shot, we can see where Justin Gaethje's hand is. It is glued to his fucking chin on the right side of his face, and he is able to block Rafael Fiziev's follow-up left hook with that right hand there. Not only that, he's moving backwards, so had his hand not been there, that punch probably wouldn't have landed cleanly anyways, but good defensive work from Justin Gaethje. Backs up and resets. Okay, something that he did a lot of in this fight is standing more squared than usual, and I'm gonna give a theory as to why I think that is. I think we get to that in round number 2 here, but we'll continue on because something else happens here that is quite good as well on behalf of Justin Gaethje. Now, something that right here, Justin Gaethje previously, or in his early career, whatever you want to say, was, in my opinion, very reckless with his leg kicks. Okay, he would throw them in boxing range, right? And you can see in this still right here, his hands are completely down, right? And if you're in boxing range and you're throwing a leg kick, while that leg kick is damaging, you are completely and totally open for a counter, which we actually see here. But there's something that Gaethje does that I want to point out, that it 100% takes a ton of fucking steam off of this counter shot from Rafael Fiziev. So he lands the leg kick, left hook comes. Justin Gaethje tucks his chin basically in his fucking armpit, right? His hand came out, and in my opinion, it was an attempt to deflect or to parry that left hook that was coming his way. But once he misses, he follows through. He puts his chin into his armpit. That makes it almost impossible for somebody to, like, snap your neck around, which oftentimes are the shots that lead to KOs. When you see a guy get KO'd, clipped on the chin perfectly, it's not necessarily just that he's getting hit on the chin. You'll see his head snap back. You know what I mean? Giving that brain a rattle. He's, like, almost, like, fucking steadying his own chin against his shoulder / armpit area, as opposed to taking it clean out in the open. And it doesn't really seem to affect him. He gets out of the way of the right hand that followed it also, right? And then backs up. Beautiful stuff from Justin Gaethje, okay? Beautiful stuff. He reset a ton in this fight. He was very defensively responsible, very active with counters. We're going to get to some of that in just a moment. We're going to skip ahead to 2:02 on the clock. 2:01. All right. Now, this is something normally I would critique, but I'm going to point this out in a second. So he's very squared right now, right? Left leg still a little bit forward. Fiziev goes to throw a left hook, and Gaethje successfully deflects, parries it with his lead hand. At this point, though, it's barely his lead hand. He's almost completely and totally squared up to Rafael Fiziev, and I have a theory as to why I think that is. He did this so often in this fight. A lot of Rafael Fiziev's attacks come from the outside. He throws round kicks. He throws big hooks. He is not throwing a lot of uppercuts. He's not throwing a lot of front kicks up the middle that are hard or have a lot of steam on them. Everything's coming from the side, right? The point of being in a bladed stance is to make yourself as small of a target as possible. But if you've got a guy who's whipping kicks that are coming from the outside, you can stand bladed. He still has your whole torso he can hit. If you square up, though, and we'll see this later, the way that a body kick lands for Fiziev, you're almost blading yourself to his attacks as opposed to blading yourself to him. Now, I don't know if this is why Justin Gaethje did that. That was just a theory I came up with while watching that, and it kind of makes sense because opposed to a kick or a hook landing to like the torso liver area, you know what I mean, or the other side, even your rib cage, it's landing to like under your armpit, just areas that aren't necessarily damaging to you. So I don't know if that's why he did it, but that was my like theory that I came up with. All of these punches, by the way, are getting deflected. Now this way that he ducks here, this is one of the reasons why I think Dustin Poirier will still have success against him, because Dustin Poirier does throw a lot of uppercuts, and something that Poirier does, unlike Fiziev is throwing everything in every fucking shot that he throws. Dustin Poirier is very good at following a guy's head. Just touch, 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 touch. He's not even really like popping it out. He's literally just sticking it, following your head, and then he'll mix in a big hard shot when he sees an opening. He does throw uppercuts. Fiziev does not throw a lot of uppercuts. Dustin Poirier is also very good at switching up what shot he is going to use as the power shot. It's just touch, 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 power. And I think that's going to be one of the issues for Justin Gaethje here, but he is able to get out of the way of a lot of Rafael Fiziev's shots, and then he backs up and resets. Every single one of those punches deflected off arms. Okay, it was good stuff. We're going to skip ahead now to round number 2. All right, here we are, round number 2, 4:09 on the clock. Okay, Fiziev comes in with a massive, massive knee to the body. And again, this was something that I thought Justin Gaethje was going to struggle with quite a bit in this matchup, but he did not really. Okay, he was very good defensively when it came to the body attacks. Same sort of thing. He's not lifting his leg, but he's crouching down. He's making his torso so fucking small, right? He knows this knee's coming to the body. He crouches down, arms down, and that knee, while he probably felt some of the impact, all right, because that was a big, big knee that came his way, his arm, right, his bicep, his forearm, everything is in the way of the body. So it's good stuff. And then he goes to throw a counter hook over the top, wings. He's a little bit open right here. Okay, this is a little wild from Justin Gaethje, which he does do from time to time, but you know, it's okay. He quickly resets. They get back to it, and then Justin Gaethje deflects and then comes back with some shots of his own once he realizes Fiziev is taking a reset, and lands a big overhand right after a left hand. Okay, this is great stuff. He is so much more patient in this fight. He let Fiziev throw his attacks, deflected them off the arms. You could see that in that punch. I'm going to back it up, actually. That one punch that Fiziev threw to the body, it looked like, kind of went through the triangle that your arm creates when you do a block. And right here, you can see his glove coming through, right? I can't even point it out to you with my mouse, but right underneath the red tape of Justin Gaethje's right hand, you can see the black glove, right? So while it landed a little bit, it definitely got deflected because it's going through his forearm and his bicep at the same time. That is not landing cleanly, not even a little bit. He doesn't follow up, and then Justin Gaethje goes, oh, he's trying to reset. Not a fucking chance. He kind of scraped him. Okay, there, he kind of did a fury swipe, which I don't really appreciate, but then he follows it up with that big right hand over the top. Great stuff from Justin Gaethje, active with his counters, patient, not just thrown himself into the fire, and he did very well in this fight. We're going to skip ahead now to 2:40 on the clock, or whatever the fuck it's going to do, dude. This works just fine. 2:39 on the clock. This is a good example of him using some counters and being a little bit more patient than we are used to Justin Gaethje being, okay? He's feinting with the right hand there. Fiziev's trying to work away in. This is what I'm talking about. The way that this kick lands, right? It lands for sure. Gaethje's much more squared right now, though. And it's landing kind of under the armpit. There's another one later on that lands in a similar way. That is not where you want to land your kick. Do you know what I mean? Like this area, like you can hit me there all fucking day. I'm fine, dude. I don't want to get kicked here. And when you're bladed, that kick would have been targeted towards his rib cage, the sides of your torsos, things like that. The way that he's standing, it kind of nullifies that. He waits for... Fiziev's foot has not even hit the ground yet. He's already throwing a counter right hand, okay? Fiziev's foot just hit the ground, and then we see Justin Gaethje, big left hook, big right hand, and then a left hook to follow up that sneaks through the guard of Rafael Fiziev. Beautiful shit. Patient. Waited for him to throw a kick. Did not let him off the hook for a second before his foot had even hit the fucking mat. He's already countering with 3 big shots, and then they reset. Great stuff from Justin Gaethje here. Okay, that is beautiful stuff. Great timing also. That it has to be instinctual at that point. For you to be countering the guy before his foot has hit the mat, it's instinctual. We're going to skip ahead here. 10 seconds. I just said here weird, but that's all right, dude. 2:24 on the clock. Oh, here we go. All right. My notes got all fucked up. 1 second, please. All right. 2:24 on the clock. Here we go. This right here. That is a beautiful roll from Justin Gaethje. You can see that it lands, but it's going off of his traps. You know what I mean? He's taking a ton of steam off of that shot. And then he wings a big counter that misses. But I want to take a look at that one more time. The roll that this is what I'm talking about, how he rolls with shots, man. He's not getting hit as cleanly as people think. Sometimes he is, but in this fight he wasn't. He lands a good jab of his own. Counter right hook from Fiziev is coming. He just gets out of the way. And while that could be dangerous because it could potentially land behind the ear or whatever and rock you or wobble you or whatever, that went kind of off trap neck area. So he's not landing that shit clean. Like his fist is behind Gaethje's head right now. You know what I mean? And then Gaethje comes back with a big counter that misses. Good stuff. Good rolls from Justin Gaethje. We're going to skip ahead now to 1:30 on the clock in round number 2 here. 132, whatever, dude. Okay? Justin Gaethje with some more fucking head movement coming up here. That kick misses from Fiziev. Right? He very rarely... See, those front kicks that he's throwing, that's like almost more of a range management thing than it is an attack. When he throws his round kicks to the body, those are hard. When he throws his switch kicks to the body, those are hard. When he's throwing those up kicks, or the front kicks, pardon me, he's not doing much. Okay? There's nothing really on him, so... I think that's what... I think that I truly do believe that that's why Justin Gaethje was so squared up in this fight. But you guys can tell me what you think about that in the comments below. Rolls right under that shot, comes back up, counter right hand. Okay, Fiziev it looked like he landed a right hand to the body there. Gaethje just backing up, blocked that last shot also, and then resets, gets back to a safe range. I feel earlier in his career, this would have been a time where Justin Gaethje stuck it out in the pocket, trying to out-tough a dude, and things didn't always go his way. Look at the timing on that left hand, man. He's making reads now. He's winning the foot position battle. His foot is on the outside of Rafael Fiziev's. He saw Fiziev was about to go in, and he landed that beautiful left hook, rolls underneath it, grabs a hold of the head, backs up, and resets. We're going to skip ahead 10 seconds here. We see Fiziev throw a huge combo, and everything's as hard as it could possibly be. Not a single punch lands clean. Okay, I'm gonna put myself... I just fucked that up, dude. I am gonna put myself somewhere else, though, because I don't want to miss this. So we'll go back up here for the time being, okay? Rafael Fiziev. Shucking and jiving. Trying to figure out what he's gonna do. Left hook. Off arm. Okay, Gaethje's got his hand up. Ducking down. Off arm. Uppercut-ish to the body. You can see the glove coming out underneath Justin Gaethje's armpit. Again, off of arm. Not landing cleanly. That last one, off arm, it did land a bit, but it went off Gaethje's right arm, deflecting it, taking a ton of steam off of it. Once again, Gaethje resets, not staying in the pocket to get hit by big shots. You know what I mean? He's not being stupid here, which is, again, something different. We've seen it gradually happen over the latter part of Justin Gaethje's career. But in this fight, I think it was the most obvious how defensively sound he was, because even in the Michael Chandler fight, which he eventually took over and beat the fucking brakes off of Michael Chandler, he got hit with a ton of big shots. He got rocked. He was almost out on his feet. Like, he was better defensively in that fight. But I feel that this is the best example of him being defensively sound. We're here at 36 seconds. Round number 2, okay? We see some good head movement and good fight IQ. Again, not staying in the pocket. Look how square he is, man. He keeps squaring up completely. He knows as soon as he sees Rafael Fiziev's foot leave the ground, he's throwing some shit. He goes, I bet my hook is going to get there before your kick. And it did, man. That was beautiful timing by Justin Gaethje right across the chin. Now, the foot does land, okay? But Gaethje ducks. Beautiful head movement. Slips out of the way, backing up on an angle. Punch goes right by his face. No worries whatsoever. Beautiful shit from Justin Gaethje. I actually want to watch that back because that was some good shit. Squares up again. Okay, it's just strange for me to see. Lands that left hook. Look, the foot is landing right there just a little bit. Just like a little slap. And then he ducks under the left hook that followed up that kick. Gets out of dodge and resets because he is not sticking in no fucking pockets for no shootouts, okay, which I greatly appreciate from Justin Gaethje. We're going to go ahead now to round number 3. All right, here we are, round number 3. 4 minutes, 2 seconds on the clock. We see a beautiful slip from Justin Gaethje and comes back with multiple counter shots on his opponent, Rafael Fiziev. We get Fiziev throwing a huge right hand. Gaethje ducks under it, tries to roll under, but he kind of gets caught up in Fiziev's armpit. Right hand lands, not clean. It kind of actually looks like an open palm. You can see his thumb sticking out right by Fiziev's ear. And you can see the white tape of the thumb. So maybe he's hitting him with like an open palm type shit, connecting with the heel of the hand. Throws a left hook right after that lands. Not really, actually. Sorry, I got tangled up on Fiziev's arm. I thought that one landed there. Backs up and resets. It's good shit, man. This is not something that Gaethje would typically do. Do you know what I mean? Backing up and resetting in that way. We're going to skip ahead now to 1:45 on the clock. All right, here we are, 1:45. There's a bit of a sequence that happens here. I don't even want to pay attention to that shit, right? We can watch it, but there was one punch that I want everybody to pay attention to, or that I wanted to highlight, and it's at the end of this sequence here, and it is a beautiful slip from Justin Gaethje. Hey, wings a couple shots, one misses. Fiziev goes, oh, right there, dude. Are you kidding me? Shoulders rolled in also. Head moving back on an angle. That shit just kissed him. I don't even know if that touched him. But if it did, it was just a little kiss. And that is some really nice head movement from Justin Gaethje. I'm going to start it again here because I forgot how quickly that happened. Fiziev throws a body kick, goes off the arm. Gaethje tries to throw a left hand, kind of blocked. Right hand misses from Gaethje. Right here. His right hand is totally far out, kind of like a fucking Sean Strickland style block. Doesn't work. Right? Shoulders rolled in. Head's kind of getting out of the way. Look at that, man. I didn't see no impact. I didn't see his cheek fucking move or any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he may have gotten touched there, but it would have just been a graze or a kiss. And had he not done that movement, that could have been a fucking nasty shot. Sorry, I burped a little bit there, okay? Now we're going to skip ahead. Skip 5 seconds. That's fine, dude. We get some more phenomenal defense from Justin Gaethje coming up here. Okay, Rafael Fiziev's pumping his way in with a jab. Switch kick to the body. Gets deflected with the lead hand. He's got the right hand down. He's crouching his body, and you can see that the toes did land a bit, right? He definitely landed a bit there. And you can tell Gaethje kind of winced, actually, on that one. But then we get this straight up Sean Strickland deflection, okay? Just arms straight out. Punch goes off of it. Okay, he successfully here. Wait. I want to watch that back. Hold on 1 second. I thought he might have parried it, but I don't think he did. I don't think it worked. Okay, but nice body kick from Fiziev. Follow-up shot gets deflected. Right hand does get through barely, but he's moving out of the way, so it doesn't do shit to him where it usually would have had he not been making those beautiful head movements, had he not been being defensively responsible, had he not been hanging in the pocket too long. This could have been a completely different fight, and credit to Justin Gaethje for making huge defensive improvements. Okay, we talked about his stance. That was just my theory. I don't know if he's squaring himself up so he can be bladed to the attacks that are coming from the outside as opposed to being bladed to your opponent. Just a theory. Again, blocking and rolling with shots so Fiziev cannot land cleanly. He barely landed clean shots. There are a few, right? Few good moments for Fiziev. Obviously, it was a competitive fight, but Gaethje was able to take a ton off of most of his shots. The slipping punches, the head movement, beautiful shit. Being patient, allowing for Rafael Fiziev to finish his attacks before going for his own counters, or even just delayed. Like once he realizes Fiziev is going to try and reset, take a breath, pardon me, he goes right after him. Now, personally, I don't know that this will be enough for Dustin Poirier because of how good Dustin Poirier is boxing. And again, Rafael Fiziev throws everything in every shot he throws. Dustin Poirier is touching you, following your head, not really actually popping it out there, just throwing his, like, just a feeler, man. It's like fucking Whiskers or something. He's just feeling you. And then once he sees an opening, then he puts in a hard shot. He's good at mixing up that hard shot. He throws uppercuts. Okay, Fiziev threw maybe one or two kind of to the body-ish here. Poirier is also very good at changing the trajectory of his attacks. He's just so fucking accurate with his hands, man. And Gaethje, while he looked very good defensively in this fight, Rafael Fiziev, his attacks, as I said, all come from the outside. They're all full 100% power every single time. You can see them coming, and Dustin Poirier just doesn't fight like that. Now, Gaethje could have success with the leg kicks as he did in the first fight. Who knows? And you know, I'm not counting Gaethje out, not even a little bit. But I just think that Dustin Poirier is going to be a little bit much for him on the feet. And this is a stupid point to make. I'm going to make it anyways, though, because I don't give a fuck, right? MMA math doesn't work. But if you look at all the top lightweights, and this is funny because it's like how somebody got beat, as if that's a good indicator of how they will do. All of the toughest guys, like all of the best guys at lightweight, Khabib and Oliveira, just those two, essentially, they fucked Gaethje up way faster and easier than they fucked Poirier up. Do you know what I mean? And I know that a lot of that was to do with grappling and shit, but, you know, Poirier hurt Charles Oliveira on the feet. So did Gaethje. Poirier tagged Khabib on the feet also a little bit, but he's just able to hang in there a little bit longer, man. The altitude could potentially be a problem. Again, I'm not counting Gaethje out. It's going to be a fucking phenomenal fight, dude. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you at the next video. Bye-bye.